Out here, it's different. The woods, the water, the wild. This is where we hunt. This is where we fish. This is how we live. Welcome to WeFish2 Podcast, where we hunt, fish, and live outside. All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of WeFish2 with Doc and Lou. Today, we're going to be talking about something that is going to really help those new hunters out there, and I think is going to make you a better hunter. Today, we're going to look more specifically at WMA hunting, and we're going to look at the mistakes that Lou have made, some of the mistakes that I have made, and hopefully you will learn from this. So with that, if you spend any time on public land, you will know some things to be true. One, you have to learn quickly. And that in that learning process, you will get humble just as fast. Some days you will see deer all the time. And some days you just won't. Other days you wonder why are you even out here? Because you coming to the realization that public land is really not that easy. So today we're going to show you how public land teaches you some things that private land just can't. So with that, Lou, let's take a look at some of these mistakes, some lessons that you've learned, and we can pass those lessons along, and strategies that work. So I'm going to ask you a question. Has public hunting made you a better hunter?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
And the reason why I say that, the private land, I had to get my
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, because you have to really think back,
Private land, the hunting pressure is consistent, right? You may have 3 or 4 hunters at the same time, may not hunt the same. Public land, you never know what you're going to get. Going to hunting public land, as you said, I went in public land because the land looks so beautiful. They burned the underbrush, all the pine trees underneath just burned beautiful. You can see for it walking. I went and just climbed up the tree.
Right.
Just, just scouting and said, okay, it wasn't opening date. October the 6th, several years back, hunting. And I knew that there were green fields that was there. They're far back. Sometimes you got to walk back. I saw a trail, I saw a tree, and I said, you know what, let me just climb up here. Didn't see nothing. Thought I was in a good position. Well, what I should have done, a little bit more understanding, just because they look doesn't mean that they're going to stay in the area.
Right.
So that year, the patience that I could have given up going back. But what I did hunt the early season around green field because the doe typically were bedding around the green field as they would do on private land as well. But the bucks would be sitting off on their, would come up to they wouldn't even come to the green field. They were eating the acorn. Once the acorns start dropping, similar to private land, they're popping it, and then they're green field. But I saw more doe around the green. Reason why? Because doe typically sit around was easy to eat because of they have tongue. And should be safe the land. But when the pressure increased on public land, it almost looked like ghost town.
Right.
Because they have select hunt.
Right.
When it comes to gun hunting, when it starts weekend. And so if you can get in that early stage of public hunting and put the boots on the ground at least a month before a hunting season, go in and put some waypoints on
scouting. Do some scouting. Do some work. Put that work in on scouting. Right.
You have to. When if you put that work on, Private and public could run neck and is just the hunting changes the public land.
Yeah. Now
You
you said something, and I want to kind of chime in right here real quick to get people to understand something. Even those veteran hunters who just don't hunt public land might have a question. You said some green fields. Yes, there are a number of green fields on public land. The WMA routinely plants, maintain green fields on public land. That's part of what they do, because that's part of the habitat of keeping the wildlife there healthy, giving them that extra source of nutrition. So, believe it or not, the work has already been done as far as land preparation. All you have to do as a hunter, as a new hunter, go in and put that work in, scout, find those trails that it would lead you to a green field, or find those transition points away from the green field and put yourself in the position to be successful. So, didn't mean to cut you. I just had to get that point in there, Lou, because a lot of people don't know that there are green fields, nice green field on public land. And so, but now I will ask you, was that the thing that attracted you to public land hunting? I mean, the opportunity there. I mean,
one of the good things that attract me to public land hunting, they have maps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all laid out, they show safety zones. That means you put in the area. They show where all the green fields are located, all the gates are located. Look, there's an area, private land on the corner where it shows you railroad track, utility fence, gates, crops, and private land and safety zones. And so to look at these maps is laid out. You got to follow it.
And it's labeled too. It's labeled. It's labeled. So it's there. You just got to be able to go in there and get it, which leads me to this next point. The reason why many hunters, even some skilled or veteran hunters, avoid public land hunting is because of that. The work that they have to put in order to be successful. I know it's easy, and we're going to get to talk about this a little bit later. It's easy to get caught up in what you see someone else may have done on public land in terms of a successful hunt, a big rat, deer, or whatever. But before that picture was ever taken, it was work put in order to make that happen. So public land can be fascinating, but at the same time, it can be frustrating. I mean, but just know that if you put those boots on the ground, put that work in, put that scouting, it could be incredibly rewarding. So the lesson learned on public land, I think, can transfer, because just like on private, you still got to do some scouting, you still got to know where the deer are going, where they're coming from. You do have to recognize those patterns as well. You do have to create habitat for them to be comfortable so they can continue to come back to give yourself an opportunity to be successful. Right. I mean, I don't.
And another thing is private land put all these cameras out. Yeah, because you're on private land. On public land, be careful putting. Not saying everybody. Sometimes you things walk away on public land because it's public land. You're really not supposed to leave things on public land.
No.
I don't mess with anybody's purse, but I've had things to be down like lock on sticks. And my lock ons up. So people will bother your things on public.
Yeah, they'll come up missing. That's why with my climber, I always put a lock on it. And that's if I decide to leave. But even sometimes when I go for a break, move, or I'm gonna put a lock on it. So, all right. We can transition to segment 2, which in it is one of those things people want to know, does it really matter? Does public land matter? Well, as what you said in the last episode, Lou, is 725,000 acres.
1,000 acres.
That is the incubator for deer population in the state of Alabama. Without that 750,000 acres, you probably won't have the deer population that we have. I think that has a lot to do with it. One thing I do understand about public land, it do belong to the public. So it belongs to you and I. But so that idea right there alone says it matters because if I didn't have nowhere else to go, if I didn't have any family that had land or didn't own land myself or had a buddy that has some land or I don't have a lease, if I
Yep.
don't have any of those things and I still want to go hunt, you can go to Chocolaco, you can go to Mulberry,
Okmulgee,
Okmulgee. You could go up to what's that one in
at Talladega,
Talladega National Forest? There's a
Falls,
number of places that's dedicated just for you to go and hunt.
Bankhead.
Mhm. So don't short yourself about not wanting to go to public land because you know you got those hunting clubs or you private leases. Those things are not always there.
Is public land future hunting. For those who cannot afford being private land, private hunting club, or don't want to spend those $1,000 to get a quality deer and planting. Don't get wrong, I'm not taking nothing private
Absolutely not. No, we're
property
not taking nothing from them. No.
because the quality that they put in, some hunt clubs, they have a book rule of 8-point better, 18-inch spread,
Mm-hmm.
125 by 130.
On the
You
scale.
look at the age class of the deer. We really look at their age class. On public land, I think it is the future because they're putting so much in the forest, planting, making sure they're doing burning,
Burn it.
and they're taking
dry burns all the time. Yes.
vibrant, which is producing the turkey, quail, dove hunts you can go to, and you have those, and you have the small game, rabbit and squirrel hunters that. So I think it is a future, especially for those hunters that want to play and don't have those dollars. Those for under $100, you can go to public ground and have it. Right. And another thing too, I know people say too many people put a land get shit. Well, fortunately, you and I love the book.
Mm-hmm.
So there's thousands of acres on bow hunting season that I don't see nobody. When the gun season, that's when you see all of them start popping up. And you have to that you're cautious going to the wood, who's parking at the gate where you're located, going in the woods early, late, make sure you have your orange on, you got to be very safe coming in and out of the land, doing the guns. On both seasons, very relaxed.
Right. Now I'm gonna swing back around to something you saying, talking about those
Okay.
hunting clubs and those properties that are part of a group of hunters that pay fees and to hunt. Now there are some things about these clubs. There's some high fence places. There are places that have relatively no fencing. And what do I mean about high fence? High fence is where they are pretty much keep
Population of deer.
their population or their herd centrally located to that particular property. And they do that to prevent neighboring hunters or neighboring properties to have access to those deer. That's one reason. Second reason, they want to try to maintain a particular class or a particular caliber of deer. So it's not always a bad thing. I understand why they do it. But most of the time, those deer are centrally located. They're not what we call free range deer. Now, public land, you don't have no fencing. You have free range deer. The deer that you will encounter are vastly different than that of those high fence places or those that you pay, a high price tag for. But the difference is the experience that you have in those two particular places. So I think, and we're gonna end this segment on this. Public land gives you a chance of a lifetime in terms of having that type of reward from your scouting, that work that you put in to execute an ethical shot on a deer that you will harvest that huge 8, 9, 10 point.
Right.
Whereas opposed to, and this is no knock now, this is a reality deal. High fence, you have a higher percentage, a higher chances of being successful at a big, large 125, 135, 140 inch deer. And that's why you pay for that. But if you want the experience, it's how much, Lou? Less than $100?
But less than $100.
Less than $100.
Less than $100.
You can get a Bass Pro Academy, Smart Even. You can get that license.
Less than $100. 700,000 acres.
Uh-huh.
You can hunt all the way up towards Huntsville, towards Baldwin County, Mobile, on one license, the $100.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, and you said this before, it gives you an opportunity to hunt places that you haven't hunted before that make you think you're not even in the state of Alabama.
And I'll say this, and I'll say this, that the buck that you see today on public land, you may not see it anymore because they're constantly tracking all that vast, where on private land, you get a chance to see that buck multiple times. So if a buck that you're going to take the first day that you got 3 days to plan, and you're like, well, this is a book that you would take on the last day, go ahead and take it on.
Absolutely.
Because you may not see those bucks anymore.
Right. So boy, these conversations, man, they gonna go wild here in a minute.
I know.
Because you're talking about what deer to pass on, what deer not to pass on. Boy, in public land, if you see a deer and it's a good looking deer, you better take that. You better take that deer. That's it. That's the only chance you're gonna get, because a few hundred yards east, northeast, or west, somebody else gonna take them. But
that's exactly.
Public land, basically, folks, it levels the playing field. I mean, whether you are an experienced hunter, like Lou or myself, or you're a beginner hunter, if you take the time to go out into those woods, scout, prepare yourself, and learn the terrain, the level of playing field is even. It's always important that we get involved for just that purpose alone, and without having to experience that high cost. So it's important because hunting tradition is survived and it is extended by you participating in hunting simply by going to public land, a national forest, because we all have that access. Last deal, we're going to move on to a reality check. Opportunity, adventure, challenge, and education. Those are the things that we want you to take away from that segment. We want you to understand that's the whole deal with public land hunting. Now, let's be honest, Lou. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with the people, right?
All right.
Social media doesn't always show you the full picture, right? You see these pictures with people posing with their bucks. Some will go into the video and measuring them, measuring the tines, measuring the antlers and things of that nature. All of these are called hero shots, right? My question is, how much work did you put into it? Or what were some of the strategies that you used in order to be successful on that hunt? So I'm going to let you start us off with that.
Okay. Good question. And that question can go very, and the reason why I'm going to give you a public private situation. Private land. I had a deer that I could harvest, a 3-year-old buck back in 2006. He was 3 years old. And I ended up harvesting that buck when he was 8.5 years old, 2016, when I saw it on this game cameras now. This when I was taking the game camera pictures, small videos. They weren't coming to my phone. Technology wasn't coming to my phone then, right? But I have those updated cameras that as soon as a buck cross, send me a photo to my phone. So I would always go out there, put gloves on my hand, open up my camera and check. That's my private. I end up harvesting that book at 8.5 years old. He was 3, pretty, but I had much larger on my wall, and I ended up on that buck at an 8.5-year-old buck. Now, private land in Missouri. First day on the property, I went strictly for scouting, finding the food source, no cameras, not the water, not the bedding areas, not the travel corridor, going the rut, acorns on the ground, soybean behind me. Okay, all the ingredients for real bucky doe traveling area. I went up there. The wind was my favorite wind blowing towards the grain field. Set up 30 yards in line, soybean in my a vein of tree going from the inside going to the soybean field. I'm sitting in a bottle here, so deer won't come to get me. I harvested on my private land, both hill, shot in broad yards. We ran to the wall in the factory and died. They have Missouri. The doe came in front of me. I had probably about 10, 15 minutes of light left. She peed 20 yards in front of me. The buck made a big roar, came around 20 yards. I shot him. Thought it was a good shot. Tail down super hard. He ran. I got down. I almost got turned in these woods. Doc, I almost got turned in these woods.
We know about getting turned around.
Man.
Can happen. So
Because I was so excited.
Yeah.
The Lord said, hey, you better stop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look back.
Gotta pay attention.
When I turned around, I don't know exactly where I located. I think it's the tree that I climbed. So I had to get my thoughts because I was so excited. I was about to mess this one up.
Right.
Well, thought I shot him well. Called a guy that I met, came out there. We tracked the blood. Come back that morning, dog out there. Tracked the blood where he got up, bed down.
Right.
The deer ended up in the river. And I couldn't go keep him. That's a bad. And I'm several hours to go up here, get it done. You learn a lot of mistakes more than for me.
Right.
And I thought I did a good job. What did I do wrong? Well, I planned, I performed, I executed. And it taught me that, you can still do a good you can still make mistakes, but you got to keep on hunting. Learn from your mistakes. Private land, we could have just kept on that public land, stopped at the river, and private land picked back up. I couldn't go to the river. Don't know if he went all there. Oh, the dog stopped. Right. And the man said he died. He didn't go to the other side.
They
had feelings, bro.
And see, that's the point, folks. That's the point. That struggle, that experience is typically what you don't see on those hero shot videos. You don't see the struggle we go through. Because I can tell you, there are a lot of times when there are long walks or empty sits or there are missed shots or like with that story. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes that you can make. And here's one even better. Look, here's one even better.
Yeah.
I was down at my wife's in-laws, right? And her uncle, who hunts as well, has this fella that he hunts with that has some property down there. He said, "Hey, come on down. Will you come down? We can hunt." Does he want to hunt with me? Want to put his skills against mine? That kind of deal. But he invited me down because he always showed me his camera or what deers on that he have down there. So I said, "Okay, I'm going." Right. So when I got down there, first mistake I made, I didn't do any scouting. I didn't know what one tree was from another. All I know is go down here, turn left on Red Line Road. Hey, when you get to the gate, go through, you go down that road, the shoot house is right there on the right. Simple, right? Mistake. I went in, walked down that road, like I normally would do, as anywhere else, careful footing, trying to be quiet, this and the third. Well, in my mind, he said the shooting house was down here on the right. But what he did tell me, yeah, it's down on the right, but it's back off in the woods. And the road led me right to a huge green field. And I tell this story, and I told my wife and her family this, they get a crack out of just about every year. I walked to the edge of the road, right into the green field. And as I looked to the right, looking for that shooting house, 25, 30, 40, 50, 40, no more than 40 yards to my immediate right here. I mean, a rack sitting there, grazing, that he looked up at me. He darted off, stopped, turned back, blew at me. I mean, it was cold. So when I tell you the steam came from his nose and you saw the drip from his mouth, I mean, it was one of those what you call them, bullet bucks. I wasn't even in a position to even have a chance because of the mistakes I made by not scouting, not knowing where I'm going, not doing the things that I would normally do in a normal hunt. And I went in, probably missed a buck of a lifetime. And so those are the things that social media don't see. Those are the videos that those hunters won't show.
As a consumer, as a person that's watching, you want that final finale of always that kill. That's what keep driving people back. That buck. But if you had a whole bunch of just misses, failed attempts, I don't think you'll get the rating should if you just got all the misses. They need to be shown.
Yeah. You're gonna get
going to the room, not getting the buck. Gotta drive 9 hours, with any tag.
Right.
Back home, only to start back over, on private land to Birmingham.
Right. So
bad feeling.
So folks, we're gonna tell you this. And Lou, you can see if you can agree with me on this or not. But success in hunting is often built on a lot of misses.
Yes.
You agree? Can you agree with that? Success in hunting is built on a lot of misses. I mean, because the struggle and the success, they typically go hand in hand. You can't have struggle. You can't have success without the struggle. Because of the struggle, that makes that victory or that harvest that much more sweeter. So understand this, folks. Don't get caught up in what you see on social media, because what they're not going to show you are all the misses, the empty sits, the failures, and things of that nature. What Lou and I are trying to get you to understand is this. Just because you miss, or just because you make a mistake, don't stop trying. Keep going back.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. We said it in the last few episodes. Each hunt can teach you something. Each hunt gonna teach you something, and it's gonna help you improve the next hunt you go on. So, with that, we're gonna transition, Lou. All right, folks, we're going to our next segment, which was a great segue from our last one. Is biggest mistakes. Biggest mistakes. All right, hunting too close to access points. Most hunters don't like those long walks. So we talked about where the green fields are. They're really deep sometimes into those public lands. And deer know that. Deer know exactly just how far you're going to walk. They know exactly when you're going to turn around and get out of there. More often than you think. So, but the point here is the further you go, the higher you increase your chances. So my question is, and it's this for the viewers, Lou, what were some of the biggest mistakes you've made on public land? I mean, specifically, I know you gave us a wonderful example of that, but specifically, so what's some of those mistakes?
Not looking at getting a turn, thinking it's not land. thinking that the terrain thing on public land, they do some clear cutting. I was so excited that summer. I hunted it last year. Nice book there. Last year, there was Mulberry. And so I went back to the same area. I checked the map, and they told it we cut this area. Went there early in the morning. Already 2 hours to hunt. The tree wasn't there. They clear cut. And I didn't have a plan B. So now I got to go look at my, try to find another place. I didn't kill anything today. I saw a couple of does, but I still went out there. I would have known that they employed all the trees and pine. They most select clear cut it was like a Q-tip. Beautiful area, hard oaks, you get real like that little tree, the trees position at the pine tree, hard oaks up top. So they were coming from the pine tree up. And it planned out in my mouth. Didn't scout, went in there early. I knew from last year that it was going to be there. Gone. It was one of major mistakes. Another major mistake I did was going into property, not scouting enough, coming up to a sinkhole. It was a area where the sink. I'm assuming there was a sinkhole. Fell into like a little sinkhole.
Yeah.
Hunting by myself. Right. Luckily, I didn't get hurt, but it, and in the dark,
and stepped in the hole.
Stepped in a big
hole.
Down.
Yeah.
Really feel it on public land. Yeah. Almost this area is old mining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But I looked at it from the map, knew I wanted to go to this area. If I would have scouted, we would have known that was there. Right. Didn't get hurt, thank God. Not got hurt. But those are some of the bigger mistakes I've done. And this another one too. No one knew where the guy. I didn't tell
nobody. And my wife is notorious for always telling, let me know where you at. Call me every 30 minutes.
I didn't
give me your location. Those things. Now, as bad as she is about that, but I appreciate the effort that she puts in because she knows that I'm by myself. And if anything happens, who will be able to get, who can get to me? At least when she knows where I am and if something happens, she can call, get somebody to me before she can. So I appreciate that. But Lou, you hit on something, man, that was true. That was one of those things that you need to learn, particularly as a new hunter going out to these public lands. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be out there by yourself. And the next person may be 1,000 yards from you. Okay. Because I think those entry gates, I think they are either 1,000 or 2,000, or should I say, what's an acre?
43,560.
Yeah. They're at least that apart. So it's not like if you go through gate 1, gate through is across the street. No, that's a long way to the next gate. I mean, it's acres between one gate and the next. So
at least
here's the mistakes, guys. We're going to list them for you. Mistake number 1, do not shy away from those long walks. Go further into those public lands because that's going to increase your chances. Number 2, scouting. Don't set yourself up for failure by not putting the time in to scout.
I've done that before.
Scouting reveals those patterns. Lou just told you. I mean, looking at that map, if he had used that map and scouted beforehand, he wouldn't have put himself in a dangerous position like that. That is so important. Because when you scout in the day, you can see those kinds of things. Then you can put on your Onyx map or your hunt stand or whatever. You can put an X there, say, no, don't go here, right? You can help yourself out with that. Scouting tells you where not to hunt. So that's number 2. Number 3, hunting yesterday sign. If you saw a sign yesterday, that sign may not be the one you need to hunt that next day.
Absolutely.
Because that deer made that sign and he didn't went on to the next one. So, and that's because of pressure. Because somebody else saw that sign and said, hey, I'm gonna put my stand a few hundred yards or a few yards from where I saw this rub, this scrape, and I'm gonna hunt it all day. And when you come there, you won't see that deer there no more because he done understood pressure. Pressure changes, so you as a hunter, you got to adapt. So if you don't adapt, that's mistake number 3. Mistake number 4, wind direction and ignoring it, not understanding where it's coming from, not knowing if you're in the north, south, east, west part of the property. Okay. Yeah, or if you're coming in from the north, the south side, how do you position yourself to where that wind is hitting you in the face? So if typically you walking in and that wind is hitting you in the back, well, you need to position yourself to where you facing the entry point, if that's where you are. And finally, the reason why we say that because deer trust their nose more than anything. Okay, their nose is their number one defense mechanism. And the last mistake, and I know we all can agree, don't give up too quickly. Most hunters just give up the hunt too fast. If some come in there, and I know a lot of people that do this, they'll come in, sit for an hour or 2, and their hunt is over. Oh, I'm done. I ain't finna sit here all day. Where the reason why you're not shooting any deer is because of that idea right there. I ain't gonna be out here all day. Well, that's why you're not shooting no deer because you're not willing to put that time, that seat time, and making that deer. So some hunters quit after a bad hunt. Don't be that person. Just because you had that one experience you didn't see in a deer, you had that second experience you missed the deer. Don't let that third deer be the best opportunity you get be the one you miss because you wasn't there. Don't do it, folks. Stay vigilant, stay diligent, and don't give up. Success comes after persistence. So, Lou, those are 5 mistakes. Does that get your stamp of approval?
Yes, sir.
If it gets your stamp of approval, folks, we're gonna move right along. Now, we've always talked about deer reacting to pressure. I think we covered that enough. We get them to understand that. But what about the hidden spots? The hidden spots that it's a secret to you, it's a secret to me. We don't want to tell nobody, but what are some of those secret spots look like? What they look like? So we talking strategy right now. We talking strategy. Let's put them on some game right now, Lou.
I'm finna throw a monkey wrench in.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking about we need long walks in.
Yes, long walks in. Yes.
In one particular property in Kentucky, well known, and I'm gonna throw it out there, Henry and Higginson. Henry and Higginson Wildlife Management Area. Great area. A lot of people kill a lot of deer there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody in the area walks deep. The deer were staying close by the road.
Mm-hmm.
I found this out because I decided to walk down the road. I went down the road just looking on both sides of the road. Both sides of the road was public land.
Okay.
Bamboo was on the left side, bamboo. There was a big gap between the bamboo on the right and left. And when you look at it, I go to right and left of the road. This is a paved road. You were crossing the road. And when it crossed the road, it's like this hill in 8 feet. So we sometimes scout, but all the clues are right there at the beginning. So look at deer traveling. Here's how they travel. Kill the doe, watching cars come by the road.
Right.
Within 50 yards, within the gate.
So it's walking the gate. Right. Yeah.
They staging it. It was a stage where they come across the road.
Okay.
They were staging, eating acorn, then going to the store. So those are some of the things that I would say about that is just looking at the obvious. The food star, acorns, or food source, water, cover. How can I get from one area undetected?
Mm-hmm.
And we go deep. Yes, they can do that, but let's find the food source first.
Right.
How are they going to get there? Where are they coming?
Right.
Where they bed? And then work out. And the obvious, Doc, was right there at the road.
Right there at the road. Wow.
Right there at the road.
I mean, as opposed to having to go deep in there, we know those can be some pretty long walks.
Yes, sir.
But this particular time was a short walk.
A short.
And here's what I'm guessing from that, right?
Yeah.
Convenience attracts hunters, right? Wait, we're going somewhere with this. But security attracts deer. Right. So in that scenario there, you talked about the staging area, or where they were, eating acorns at that particular time. A lot of time as hunters, we walk right past that. We pay no attention because we know ain't no way in the world they gonna be sitting right here when I walk through that gate. And like I said, deer know our behavior and our movement better than we know theirs.
That's right.
They watching us when we're not watching it. So we have taught them to move to a secure area where hunters are not. And I bet you hunters are not right there at their gate. So that's why they convene, or where they gather there. They felt comfortable. Because sometimes the best spots are where nobody is, folks. The best spots. And Lou just happened to be that person to find that spot where nobody was going. Nobody was going. So if you want a tip, and this is probably the best tip from his example he gave, is to look for those hidden spots where nobody wants to be. Look for cover, those thickets, that hard to get terrain, those areas where the terrain is going to challenge you. Go there, because that's where the deer are.
That's right.
Or find that hidden gem, like Lou said. Hey, man, it was what? How far was that from the gate, man? If you had the gate.
When I say you go in, there was crossing the road. So before you even go in the gate, if you go in the gate, on the opposite side of the road, you had bamboo, hardwoods, was pine based off the map. They were coming through the hardwoods, coming through the little bamboo, crossing the road. The gate is parallel to the bamboo road. So within 50 yards, I mean, I can see cars clearly. If they were to look up, they would probably see people in a tree. The deer were coming out, come across the road. They started with the does, all up, but turn right and went up the hill to me. This is what that long, and it was so much deer poop. Then I was like, when are they eating here? When are they here? And so I hunted that morning. Nothing. I hunted that evening. That's how all the activity took place. It was an evening hunt. Every area was not a morning and evening hunt. Some hunts just strictly evening hunts. And that's what they were doing. They come out of their bed areas. They stage an area, hitting these acorns. I just happened to find this sweet spot before they go on down to the soybeans here. That is definitely deep on across the woods.
Right. So here's the takeaway we want to take away from that, folks. Look for those overlooked areas, right?
Yep.
Look for, not necessarily in this case, but this was an extraordinary case. But look at those difficult access points. Okay.
Yep.
Even though this was one that was relatively accessible off the road, but I keep hearing that bamboo and those trees. Now, people understand when bamboo grows thick together along with tree, that acts as a barrier for a deer. That keeps that as cause a point of separation. And they use that a lot to travel, almost like a wall. So think about thick cover. Think about terrain that is uneven. It's up one place, down the next, because we talked about thermals in the last episode and how they rise and how they fall depending on the time of the day. Locate those food sources and water sources, because food and water, they work hand in hand. And if you can position yourself strategically in that sweet spot between the two, you're going to be successful. Creek crossings, or water's coming through, but you can cross it, it's not deep. Find those, because those are drinking places. They come down, they cross there, they drink there, they go from one place to the next, and those transition zones. If you can find those things, folks, you gonna be a successful hunter. Again, most hunters hunt for convenience. Deer often look for security. The further you go, the better, increases your chances. So, Lou, thank you for that. So we're going to now segue to looking at the big question I've been waiting to get to. I remember a look you had on your face one time before, but I still got to ask this question again. How public hunting makes us a better hunter. I'm going to start out with patience, adaptability. These have been the themes that we've been able to kind of get you guys to understand over the last couple of episodes, along with scouting, perseverance, and being able to take those unfortunate events like missing a deer or blowing a deer or not being successful. Allow that to humble yourself, and you can learn from those experiences and use that to inform who you're going to be moving forward as a hunter. So, do have public hunting improve your position as a hunter, or do you think our new hunters can go on to public land after taking some of the things we shared with them and use them to make them a better hunter?
I know they can, because it's so many of public land, live in any street. Studying just the map itself, understanding the civil and the terrain will help you, because it's so fortunate. Most of them are very fortunate. And studying, if you're a person that has the pieces that put in the work and trying to understand topography, understanding your windage, where the air goes, understanding your direction going in woods, you're going to harvest a deer whether you're on public or, but you're on public, you got 700,000 acres. That's just in the state of Alabama, under $100, and you can go every day of you. Most of the time, some properties you cannot hunt on spring days. I don't know all of them, but some you can't hunt on stuff. But most of them you hunt every day. You cannot hunt them when they have thick hunts when it comes to gun hunting. You have to have a hunter's orange on. You have to hunt with a gun.
Right.
But other than that, you can learn going into public land, just going out to them, understanding different acorns, red acorns, pin oaks, water oaks, mountain oaks, understanding when it rains in pine trees, because they burn the undergrowth in that mushrooms grow up. And those deer love the mushrooms.
Love them.
Good rain, maybe that week pass, those mushrooms are popping up in those pines. Those mushrooms are in public land. Great success. I've killed duck with several doe. I've killed more doe on public land than I've killed buck. Okay. But I have killed some bucks, more doe than bucks. That's just me. I'm going over there having fun. It made me a better person. Private land, I let more deer walk, understand the pattern of the deer, where they're going to, so get out of there and do it all up. Public land, my arbitrary sometimes is a very small window. So I have to seize that opportunity when I.
So that raises another question. I know you've gone. I'm like, dude, you've gone to several states on public land, right? And you even said certain places are different in terms of pressure, because you haven't experienced the amount of pressure you had in other places that you do in Alabama, right? I remember you saying that. Now, here's the question. Even just listen to that, and your transition from public to private. What skill do you think you can attribute to public land that you use more successfully on private? Before you answer, give you a minute. For me, it was understanding wind direction better because of the hill terrain and the way it moves, because the wind moves different through pine trees than they do oak trees. Okay. So it took me a lot of empty sits, seeing doe out in the distance, stare me down, turn, walk the other way, because my positioning was wrong, because the wind caught me. So for me, it was wind positioning. But I'm eager to hear what your skill was.
And it's wind position.
Okay. So where's everything?
I thought I was a great hunter. So I went to public land. It humbled me. I hunted at the top of a ridge in the evening time where the thermals were falling.
Right.
A beautiful buck came across in front of me. I drew back. I knew he was going to be in position. Dog, he caught that wind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know how fast they get out of there.
Oh, they gone. They spot you. They gone.
He hit my wind. I didn't. Now get this now. I didn't walk from that position. Came from up top.
Up top, yeah.
The thermals were dropping down. The wind was going this direction. I should have paid attention. I could have killed him to the right. Well, I would say I could have had a shot to my right, but I would be perfect rush if in the evening time, but that wind off that ridge came down. And when he hit my drift. All I saw was bud and teeth.
Bud, go.
Right. So it prepared me when I went to my land.
Mm-hmm.
Evening hunts, especially when I'm hunting higher elevation, pay attention to how those thermals are dropping in the evening time. And set yourself up to harvest the deal at shot A, B, and C.
Yes.
I'll say this too. On public land, you're not supposed to limbs.
No, that's no, can't cut.
You know what I'm saying? You're not really, when you climb in the trees, you're not supposed to be cutting on those pine trees.
Right. Can't touch them.
On private land, you can cut shooting lanes.
Could get your hand. Right? Yep.
Cut shooting lanes. And public lands, okay, if it's some brown, stuff like that, yes, but on these trees, don't touch the trees. You're not supposed to.
Not supposed to.
Right. So on public land, you need to be a better shot as well when it comes to bow hunting.
Okay.
Right.
So I ain't think of that. I ain't think of that, man.
Yeah. Those little gaps.
You were right. You don't your area of the opportunity for you to miss is small. Yes. It's oh my God. It's small. So
how many limbs have I hit?
Because they crossing, even a leaf would throw your shot off 5 inches. I've done it. So with that, man, I think I want the people to understand this. You cannot force success. You can't force it. You have to earn it. And what I mean by earn it, you have to go through these trials that Lou and I just told you about. That stuff, that's real talk, man. That's not social media. That ain't something that's real experience. And you guys are getting some golden nuggets right now, because if it wasn't for those mistakes, if it wasn't for those misses, if it wasn't learning that stuff, we wouldn't be in a position where we are now in terms of we can go places and can adapt, because we understand what we're doing. We understand what we're looking for. We feel that wind at the back of our necks at hold. I don't need to be right here. I need to switch it over here. We know what time it is. We know where we are on the ridge, where we're in the saddle, where we're in the back. We can use our experience to make these decisions on the fly when we're walking into a place. Okay. So be sure that you guys understand it. And the reason why we're able to do that, because all our hunts taught us something. Okay. It helped us to improve the next hunt. Every mistake teaches something. Every season brings about a new challenge. Every season that you can kind of use what you have learned in other seasons to help you prepare and be a better hunter for the upcoming season. Public land hunters become students of the woods. I mean, when I say student and the public land is the classroom, that's what I'm talking about. The deer are the teachers. Trust me when I tell you that, because they're going to exploit every mistake that you make. Every time that you don't scout, every time you don't play that wind, every time you are not reading those trails right, they're going to make you pay for it by simply not showing up, or getting blowed, or being tipped by a movement that you've made, and they're out of there. All you're seeing is a white tail going off in the distance. So, Lou, Do you agree? And we can let them go with this. Persistence often beats talent, or should I say, does preparation creates opportunity? Those are some nuggets, folks. I'm telling you, if you think about it, because the more persistent you are in terms of not giving up, learning from your mistakes, taking those lumps, you're going to create opportunities because now you're preparing yourself to be a better hunter. You're going to create opportunities for yourself.
That's right.
So, final thoughts, Lou.
Persistence is key. Don't give up. Sit longer. Pay attention to your surroundings. Scent control. Make sure if you hunt in public land, go above and beyond. Get in those woods. You can harvest a buck or a doe on life. Whereas, this is what I do better now on private land than I didn't on public land. On public land, I wear gloves everywhere I go. These are authentic, and I wasn't doing private land. And I started doing that, and I noticed the difference from these touch trees. So understanding public land really helped me be a better steward, better hunter. And I just leave you with that. Pay attention to detail.
Awesome.
Just like you said, dear teachers, and learn from me. I learned more from mistakes than my success.
That's
one that got me. What could I have done differently? Make sure I was that buck. What could I have shot facing? You know, could I have ranged you?
Yes.
Not just getting in the tree. Should I have pulled my back and checked making sure that I can pull back if on my own? Wasn't able to draw back. Just small little do preparation, prior plan of performance. Get prepared for you on public or private land so you can be successful.
Hey, great advice. Appreciate that, Loof. And here's the thing as we close out, people. If you're thinking about getting into hunting, and if public land is an opportunity for you, don't be intimidated, folks. Don't be intimidated. Start small. Learn the area. You have time. Like right now, it's about to be the 1st of June. This is the time. Get some tick spray. Spray up, cover up. But go in that area. Just walk around. Learn it. Scout it. Stay patient. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't make it complicated. Keep learning. The woods will teach you everything you need to know if you're willing to listen. All right. And with that, folks, every hunt adds knowledge. Stay patient and keep learning. Thank you guys for tuning in for episode 4 of We Hunt 2, We Fish 2. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like what we're doing, like what we're saying, hit that subscribe button. Like, comment, and share. Pass it to somebody who want to go hunting. Give them an opportunity to learn something. So remember, guys, do what your mama told you. Get out the house. Go hunt. We Hunt 2, We Fish 2. Peace.